Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
For the second game in a row, Arsenal played a draw. That game against Brentford ended 1-1 at the Emirates. Partey scored the first goal. It was a good counter. Raya to Rice, and Rice moved the ball forward, passed to Partey, bam, inside the net. After Partey scored, Arsenal conceded again after 10 minutes after scoring goal, and that game ended 1-1. Okay, if you look at that game, even though Arsenal have nothing to play in this game, the league is already lost. They are playing for pride, probably to close down the points before the end of the season, because their main focus now should be the Champions League. If you look at the way Arteta set up his team, most half of his team was on the bench, most in quotes. I saw a few starters apart from Partey and Rice and few other players started that game. But I think it's still a good game for Arsenal, but 1 point is still poor at the Emirates.
1 point at the Emirates is never good enough because, this is Arsenal, right? Kudos to the team for the performance, but then it's not good enough. Arsenal need to be picking up 3 points rather than 1 point, because this is what separates champions from also ranks, right? The difference between City and Arsenal is the fact that you can count on a squad with a quality depth and that can pursue several titles and concurrently, But while City are having a hiatus from pursuing titles this season, Arsenal don't even have the squad to fight two battles on two fronts. So they need to focus on consolidating the squad, not numbers now, but quality. Quality in different positions.
Okay, now if you look at that game in general, 1-1, Arsenal is not looking to win the league. Obviously, everybody know. Everybody know that they are
not using English. Yes, they don't use English confusing. Go to that, you say conspiracy, and I understand the consolidate. You get the one way is talk conspiracy, sin. You leave that one first. Leave City, maybe City will talk about it. Don't use City now, speak English, confuse us. But I'm not confused. Arsenal drop points. Make I laugh them first. This one sweets me. It sweets me because last week we talk they no agree here word. We say if Liverpool they drop points, Arsenal supposed they win their game to cover up the space. But wait till happen. Then they drop points before even Liverpool play. And at the titles you want to go collect from Liverpool. This was what has been happening since before the beginning of the season. Fulham, Arsenal win your game. Arsenal play draw. They say Fulham go cut points from Liverpool. Fulham later collect 2 points from Liverpool. They share a 1-1. Because Arsenal no win on Saturday, Liverpool played draw on Sunday and they were still okay with their draw. This last couple of weeks ago, against Fulham again, Liverpool, we know first leg was tough, second leg will be tougher. Arsenal, you have Everton, win your game. Arsenal, you have 1-1 draw. And you want to take the draw. At least we're still calculating mathematically because they're not giving the title to Liverpool yet. because it's still mathematically possible that Arsenal can come in and take the title. But with this kind of performance and with this kind of result, I want to take the title.
But if you look at the performance in general, it was even though it was not really good in this game, they played where they had more possession, more shots. I think they have about 10 corners in the first
corner
half.
FC now.
Corner FC, they didn't convert any. But if you look at the way they set up, especially from the midfield, there is no creative force in the midfield. They started Zinchenko, Rice, and Jorginho. You don't expect that kind of midfield to get you a result.
You expect that kind of midfield to hold more of the ball, hold possession, play conservative football. Okay? Now, if you play conservative football, you expect at least to see one small pocket space and exploit. You get? If you have fast wingers, like you start Martinelli today now, you start one in it. So as you hold the ball well, it will say Jorginho, I don't even know why they play that guy. It will say Jorginho and a person will say get vision, get forward pass. As they play that backward passes, they look around to see if they crack one hole for not Brentford defense. Once they see Martinelli don't make the run, pam, that your pam will enter. You send the pass above the defense line. He will run into it and get it. And that was how they got the goal. But all thanks, this one Raya even created more chance than Jorginho in this game.
Okay, if you look at John,
if
you look at that game, you will not blame him for playing Partey at the right back, because we all know that Partey in that midfield is a different beast altogether. Look at what he did against Real Madrid. Look at what he has done throughout the season. But White picked up an injury in training. So Timber had a knock against Real Madrid, so he couldn't start, even though he was introduced in that game. But removing Partey from that midfield again to right back, he has not worked, and it did not work in this game again.
Like I said, we are talking about Arsenal, and one of the current teams that keeps popping up concurrently is that Arsenal keep playing players out of position because the team is short-staffed for quality in key places. For example, you have a few players out with a knock. You do not have quality replacements in those positions. while we are still talking about the lack of a number 9 in the team, there is right now, because a number 9, let's say you take a Liam Delap or an Ivan Ferguson from West Ham, or let's say you take any other
Ferguson
schoolboy.
use Krug.
Forget about Fulkrug. You bring in an
Danny
Nketiah or Hugo Etikite, somebody in that front line with this same team, it could have been a win. So Arsenal need to invest in the squad to ensure that when you have battles on different fronts and you have a few players who have maybe taken a knock, the other credible hands that can come in and still put up a performance and get the goal. Because we are seeing this as a draw, because the opponent themselves, Brentford, if Brentford had the let me say enough amount of ball possession in this game, they could have done any other. They could have scored one more goal, you know, even if it's in the dying embers. They could have scored one more goal, and in that scenario you are now losing. Mind you, Arsenal is meant to be chasing for the title, but 2 games now they have had to shelve their title dreams to chase Champions League,
which they are not even there's no even guarantee that it's going to win.
There's no guarantee, it's just hope. That's why I still come back to this talk about hopium. You are chasing a Premier League that is available, is in your hand. You have
and the Champions League is in their hand now, with Real Madrid losing against, you know, I don't know how to say this now, but I feel for the Arsenal fans, because even after the 3-0 win against Real Madrid, they've been restless. You get, and they need to rest players so that the restlessness will not affect them on that day. You get, because
this one is just bad belly.
No, they've been restless. Look at Arsenal fans, ask them Real Madrid, they'll be like, we go win no day that assuring. You know that first leg, somebody said it will beat Real Madrid, and he said if I don't beat Real Madrid I will. But now say even in voice they shake, because even as he not win that one, he never see the share about
nobody's voice is shaking.
So for now I also feel like
is still there.
If you are going to be hoping to win against Real Madrid, you still have a hurdle of PSG to cross. And they say they've done this in the group stage, fine, no problem, we don't understand that. But in the Premier League,
take it one step at a time.
Take it with the game you see. Against Everton was just a giveaway. For me, it was a giveaway because they could have won that game. You get, but I just feel like Everton came up with all their fighting machine, all their everything, all the shield they needed, and they got the draw. In this one, they could have seen this one off because they had a goal ruled off for offside in the first half.
Yes,
I think in the first 20 minutes they had the goal ruled off for offside. You could have at least built on that momentum and get another goal in the first 45 minutes, but they did not, because they ruled it out for offside. They just went flat again and tried to get themselves into the game. It doesn't work like that. Build on that momentum and get the goal back. So you prove that even if you cancel 5 of our goals, we'll still have one on that board.
I still put it to you that midfield without the missing link is not good enough on the day to dominate and to create as much chances as was required on the day.
Okay, if you look at that, if you look at that game, even in the attack, when they started, Trossard and Martinez started in that game, they created a few chances between them. But our main striker, Merino, was on the bench. You know, he has earned his right to rest for Real Madrid game. Everybody, most of the defense team like Saka was rested, Timber was rested, Odegaard was rested for that day. I think that Partey should have rested if probably White was available.
Yes, if he was available,
yes, Partey probably would have rested in this game. But they know that it's going to be very hard for them to overturn that point against Liverpool. But for Real Madrid, it's in their hands. 3-0 to the Santiago. They can still fight and get it. He didn't rest Saliba. Saliba played in 90 minutes again. That guy is a machine. That guy is too much. I think at some point I was hearing a rumor that Real Madrid was bidding $2 million, $2 million, dollars or whatever it is, euros for him. I think he wants it.
You say?
He wants it. Come on,
200
million. 200 million. Saliba is one of the best defenders.
If you sign Saliba for 200 million, how much you go sign Van Dijk?
How much
you go sign Vidi?
How much was Rio Ferdinand signed when he moved to Man U?
It was 30 million.
He was excuse me, let's not call the amount right now, because 30 million then and 30 million now is not the same thing.
Van Dijk and Maguire are 80 million.
It was a world record fee. So if Saliba is going to go to Real Madrid, it should be a world record 200 million.
Harry Maguire and Van Dijk was one-time world record fee signing for 75 and 80 million respectively. Van Dijk and Harry Maguire. Now, if you're going to break the record, at least £100 million they okay for Saliba.
No.
Which I mean 200 million and Neymar be
200 million.
Well,
it's not Neymar.
the truth is that Arsenal will not even sell Saliba. The Arsenal fans will go, in fact, they will riot if that happens.
They
With
need
Saliba.
money, oh.
But we don't need money. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in this particular game. Actually, ended 1-1. Arsenal drawing that game. The league is out of their hand completely. If Liverpool wins tomorrow, it's going to be 13 points, and there is no way Arsenal is going to overturn that point come end of the season. But they have the Champions League on Wednesday to play against Real Madrid. That's probably the focus. If you look at the way Arteta set up his team, you understand that the focus now is Real Madrid to reach the semi-final of the Champions League. But let's see if they are going to do that. But in this particular game, they drop another 2 points at the Emirates.